Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of YOML, a year of magical learning. If you like our podcast, hit the subscribe button. We post these on a regular basis, usually from Monday to Thursday. Click on the bell to get notified whenever we have one uploaded. So today we're on book 115. Let's see what Matthew McConaughey has to say.
The book that we're going to be talking about today is Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey.
Mhm.
I can't remember. Did you read this one or not?
It's still in my
Your
library,
anti-library?
audio. Yeah, anti-library.
You should really check this one out because it is one of my top 15 book in this journey thus far. I might venture to say top 10. It was that entertaining. It was just a really entertaining book. And not only was it entertaining, but I actually learned a lot from it. Matthew McConaughey is a weird dude in a good way. Like he's
a Texans dude.
Yeah, well, he's a huge Texas, through and through kind of guy. Actually, he's from Uvalde, the shooting was, and he's a big Longhorn guy. He lives in Austin,
Right.
but yeah, no, he's just an interesting guy. Like, I mean, he's lived an interesting life. His story was really interesting,
And
honestly,
he does have that, midnight DJ voice.
Oh yeah, he's got a great voice. So not only was this book entertaining, do it as an Audible book because he narrates it himself, and it's just it's super entertaining. I mean, that made it even that much way better. Hearing him do his own writing or read his own writing kind of thing, and it was like a performance. It was amazing, honestly. I mean, I really enjoyed it. This has been one of the top best-selling books since he released it a few whatever it was, maybe a year and a half ago or something. 5 top 10 bestsellers kind of thing. It's because it's that good. I mean, it's a really good book. So check it out if you haven't ever read it, and anybody that's listening in on this, check it out for sure. But
yeah, I think I would definitely do that. I'm actually looking for a change of, I guess, subjects to read on. So
man, you can never go wrong with a great autobiography. Learning about people's lives is just fascinating. It'll never get old for me. The reflection title from this particular book is called The Art of Running Downhill. Just a quick description of the book itself. It's called Greenlights. It says in the description, he exiled himself into the desert without electricity for 52 days while writing this book. And after reading this book, I 1000% believe that he did that. This guy's wild. I mean, he is on a spiritual journey and he's really in tune with himself. He's very much so a reflector. He's somebody that, a lot of this book came from his journals that he started writing when he was a kid. It actually reminded me a lot of my own journey of writing in particular.
It sounds this one.
It does. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's exactly like this. I mean, it's a lot of things where he learned lessons, he wrote them down, he experienced life, and he kept catching green lights, eventually, which is his thing, right? So a green light is, the way that he describes it is, it's a book about how to catch more yeses in a world full of no's, and for him, green lights are, you're looking at a street and everything's a green light, and you just keep hitting more and more. It's like the compound effect. Once you start hitting a few green lights, and you know where you're headed, it just seems like the green lights pick up speed and you pick up more and more green lights. Once you start hitting a lot of green lights, doesn't seem like it slows down, but you have to be intentional about catching green lights, right? That's the idea of the book in general and the story that he paints throughout the entire book. It's not so much like a philosophy or a memoir as it is almost a philosophy book mixed with a little bit of a memoir. That's why it's really entertaining. Some of the stories that he tells about his life are wild. He would have dreams about the Amazon or something like that, and he just goes to the Amazon and tries to find a snake or something. He did it multiple times where he just had a dream about something and went to some weird area of the world just to go explore it. You're like, this guy's nuts, but in a good way.
I mean, I think he's following his passions or calling or whatever you want to call that word, right? He dream about something, say, hey, I want to know what that is about. So he just jump on an airplane and go over there and say, okay, I want to know. It make me curious, and I have the means to do it, and I want to find out. I mean, that's, to me, in my view, is the ultimate lifestyle. It's like, hey, because you're not constrained by anything. If you are interested in something at that moment, you just go ahead and go and figure it out yourself.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey would absolutely be a great Clubity member because he's on his own journey, but he's trying to produce meaningful work on that journey. And one of the things I thought was really cool about his life, just as a side note from the book in general, he talks about, do you remember the movie Dallas Buyers Club? About when he was he lost 100 pounds and he was an AIDS patient that was dying, and it was about this buyers club for AIDS drugs in Dallas that this particular guy founded, and it was a book that he wrote. Anyway, he got this movie produced, he starred in it, and he took a huge risk in his career. He turned down, I think he said he turned down roles for $14 million at one point in time to keep doing his rom-com things, and he was like, no, I want I want to produce meaningful work, you know, and
Right.
this is what I want to do. He just sat back and he did his thing and he stayed focused and he worked on his craft. And eventually he finally caught a green light where somebody was like, okay, fine, do this movie. And he won an Academy Award for it. And that started all this other, you know, crazy, like, you know, movies that you didn't ever think of Matthew McConaughey in before, but now like he is. Like he was the rom-com guy before, and now he's like a serious actor because that was meaningful for him. And he had the wisdom and the self-awareness to say, like, this is who I want to be and this is what I want to do, and wait on it, you know, and to pay his time and to wait his time out. He had a paradigm that he wanted to view his life through, and he had a purpose that he wanted to fulfill. So this particular reflection for me is one of the things that he talks about, you know, around catching green lights is in the book is the art of running downhill. And if you remember back to my book, I talk a lot about running in my book a lot too. I mean, the whole NICU marathon that I talk about is kind of really centered around the theme around running a marathon in general. And for me, this goes back to like Atomic Habits, where, you know, you talk about like make it an identity kind of thing. You know, I've always said I hate running my entire life, and I don't hate it anymore, but never in a million years would I've ever thought of calling myself a runner. But I run every day and I kind of like it now, and I would call myself a runner. I was learning how to run after Amelia passed away, and during this whole journey a few years later, I would call myself a runner because I've been doing it every single day and I enjoy it now. I love getting out there and just getting my body moving. And, you know, when he talks about the art of running downhill, catching green lights, basically, you know, there is an art to running downhill. There truly is an art. And the best part about running downhill is like when you're running uphill, it's the worst, man. Like there's nothing worse than being out in the sun.
It's dreading, it's dreadful.
Awful.
It's eating frogs for breakfast.
It totally is. Yeah, it's a great way to describe it. When you're running uphill, your quads are burning, you're gasping for air, you're going slow, you feel like you're going nowhere.
Everything's against you.
Everything's against you. It feels like the sun's, you know, your sweat's pouring down your eyes, and you're just like, God, this just sucks. I do not want to keep doing this. And, you know, you keep battling, you keep going through those yellow lights, the red lights, you know, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you make it to the top of the hill. And then you're staring down at this clean downhill thing. And as soon as you break that top of the hill, it's just like magic happens. Your whole body eases up, your mind eases up, and you're like, oh, I made it. But not just I made it. Then you start to go down and your body just magically responds. It like opens up, your stride lengthens, the wind just starts blowing in your face as you're picking up speed and you're going downhill. You know, it's cool from all the sweat from going up the hill. And man, it just feels like it's effortless. Your stride is just perfect. And it seems like you're just effortlessly running at your fastest pace you possibly can. And it just feels so damn good. You know, it truly is an art to savor that moment, to go and say, man, this is why I just ran up that friggin' hill. This is why I just did what I did. This is why I'm out there running every single day. And it's to get these moments of green lights when everything just aligns and everything feels like it's effortless and easy. And it just makes sense, you know, and there really isn't an art to catching green lights, to aligning your life around that downhill portion of your run and really training everything, knowing that you got to get up that hill first, right? But once you're there, just the downhill, like enjoying the shit out of it, because it doesn't last forever. You hit a flat road or you turn a corner and you're going back uphill again or whatever. But like, you know, when you're on those downhills, like enjoy the shit out of them and enjoy all the green lights. And you know, yeah, I mean, that's what this reflection's about at a high level. So it's always preceded by pain and heartache and struggle, but once you get up that hill, like it's catching green lights all the way down, and you know, embrace it. There's an art to it, you know, it's an art to enjoying it. So yeah, I'll pause there. The question I had for everybody is, when were the times in your life when everything just felt aligned and effortless, and you know, it felt like you could do nothing but catch green lights? And if you're a runner, like, you know what I'm talking about with running downhill, and you know, that feeling of just feels good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, love to pause and get your thoughts there.
Yeah, so I really love the reflection title, The Art of Running Downhill. I think I kind of alluded to this kind of concept in our past episodes. So I love the title, but I may disagree on the fact that you have to struggle before you have the ability to go downhill. Because for me, it's like a beaver. Go back to beaver again.
Yeah.
If you're
I know what you're gonna say, actually.
If you're born with waterproof coat, it's
Right.
downhill for you. So go back to what I'm doing here. Like the question is like, when were the times in your life when everything felt aligned and effortless? That is this thing. You and I get on to this daily podcast, right? We have no preparation, no nothing. We just say, hey, you know, what do you think? Right? This is effortless for me. I don't do shit.
Right.
And I have so many great conversation with you, 115 books into it, and there's many, many more to come. And we spend no effort at all on how we prepare for. I mean, don't we prepare? I mean, you and I get, we got on and say, okay, what book was it? 115, right? Yeah. Right. Okay, let's talk about it, right?
Right.
There is no like, oh, I gotta go and prepare, right? And like I said, whatever comes to mind, whatever lesson we learn, we said it's, to me, this is an effort because it aligns with our value, it aligns with what we want to do, it aligns with what comes natural to us, is our calling, because you and I love to learn. You and I are very curious about the world, right? And that's the reason why you and I do these things without a lot of effort. For a lot of people, I mean for all this writing you've done like 240 or 250 reflection, which is like a huge, like, I don't know, this is a single block in itself, right?
This is
people are struggling.
353 words as of this morning. So
exactly.
And I was 250 this morning. So yeah.
So you see how much of an accomplishment you have done, but for you spend like maybe in the beginning about an hour, but eventually it gets better and better, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But no, it's about an hour a day.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, these are kind of things that you do, and you do them while enjoying it. And to me, that's how to catch a green light.
I'm comparing it to a run where you can't always run downhill, because you got to get uphill to get downhill.
Well, that's in an actual run. Literally, you have that limitations, but in the metaphysical one,
right, exactly.
There's no ending to running downhill. And that is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm alluding to. And I
agree with that.
And I told you, we talked about this before. Remember, I said, why are we going up the river? Why can't we just go with the flow of the river? So choose your environment, so that way and orient yourself in a way that wherever the river flow, that's where you want to go, right?
Because that's catching green lights. And it's like, go with the flow, find the things that align, and catch more green lights as you go.
And one of the things that you mentioned when Matthew McConaughey, we're talking about the, turning down the $14 million Dallas Buyers Club, right?
He turned down a $1 million offer, so he could wait for that role where he made no money, basically, and he would produce the movie. But no, that was the opportunity that he wanted to do, was to make no money, but to do this role that was like really challenging for himself,
Right. So doing that is meaningful work for him. And to my point and to your point is that is aligning with the core values of what he really wants. That's his calling. And that essentially allowing him to catch the green light, reoriented himself in a way that he's going down the river, i.e. running downhill. And so to me, it's a great reflection title. I really love that lessons, and keep it. To me, this is one of the top quote unquote bumper sticker saying that I would keep. One of the top saying, is a river must dam. That's top 5, definitely, right?
Well, that's number one. I mean, that's got to be number one, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
Of course. Are we gonna write a book of our own aphorisms, or whatever? We'll call them truephorisms? The one I was writing about this morning, and just for fun, I couldn't remember exactly what you said, so maybe you can correct me right now. So the reflection I was writing about this morning was The Old Man and the Sea, right? And you ever heard of that book before? It's a Hemingway book, and I decided to give Hemingway a chance because I was like, he's Hemingway, right? I mean, he won a Nobel Prize for literature. I was like, okay, what's the most famous work? So I Googled it, and that was Old Man and the Sea. Anyway, this book's about an old man that goes on to an epic fight by himself with a marlin, and that's the whole book. Like, he goes out on his own, and he battles this marlin, and he comes back and catches the marlin, but he gets beat up. He has this epic ordeal late in his life, and the marlin's too big to even fit in the boat, so all the sharks eat it on the way back, and he has nothing to show for when he comes home other than he's just wounded. Anyway, he has this boy that was his buddy that he would go fishing with and took care of him as an old man. Anyway, he kept saying, I wish the boy was here, because he would know what to do. Like, when he was like, anyway, he was just missing his buddy. And I kept, it reminded me of one of your truephorisms. What's the point of life I can't remember what you say. Like, there's no point of doing something at all unless, if no one's around to see your meaningful work or something like that, does it really matter? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
What is it you said?
That's why we record these things so
Right.
that, when it is.
So I wrote in here, I paraphrased you. I said, meaningful work is great, but when no one's around to see it, use it, or do anything with it, then, what's the point, right?
Because I keep asking, today, if you are able to make, $1 trillion, but you can't tell anyone about it, how
That's
you
what
feel.
it is. I'll have to change this one because that's what it is.
But
I knew it was always something
concept will
like,
keep coming back when these are
Right.
lessons that we learn, that we live by, right? We come back because there's no, and the thing is that kind of eludes to us the value that we hold. The value
Right.
we hold isn't about what we have. It's about what we do with it, how we celebrate it,
Right.
how we share it. And to me, that is missing when you only look at it from the perspective, oh, I need money, or I need this or need that.
Right.
It's not about that. You can have all the goals in the world. You can have the fountain of youth, right? But no one believes you that you have the elixir of life from the fountain of youth. Then your life is miserable just because you can't tell anyone or no one believes you. A lot of people actually, they die because of that blockage of something is burdening you from, if you don't share it, it becomes a burden. That burden will crush you.
So if you produce amazing, meaningful work and you have no one to share it with, it just feels selfish at a certain. It's like a reservoir, you know what I mean, versus a channel or versus a river. It's like you're running downhill, but your downhill is like, I don't know, or that's a bad. It's like your stream is coming down the mountain and then it just goes into a reservoir that only you have access to.
The reservoir of nothing. You have a reservoir of nothing, like no fish, no animal, no one's using it, nothing, right?
Oh, the meaningful work mattered to you, but if you don't do it with somebody else, that was a reflection. It's like, what's the point of meaningful work without meaningful relationships?
Exactly. That's why the old man said, I wish the boy would be here, because he wants to share. And to me, that is what's valuable to the old man, and similar for us. It's about.
You're ruining my reflection for this book, because that was what I said. Like, I remember when we did this particular thing where I was dying to tell you some of these reflections, and we would come onto our nightly 7th generation call, and I would be like, man, I got to share this. I want to share this reflection. You're like, fine, share it. Like, sure, whatever. So I would share it, and you're like, yeah, cool. And then we would do another one, and I was like, I just would get back, and I was like, man, I just want to tell you the reflect. We would talk about a topic, and I'm like, I was just right about that. I really want to share this with you. And you're like, okay, well, fine, let's do it. So, eventually that turned into us, doing this, in a weird way.
Right.
And it makes this journey so much more fun, right? That was what the reflection was about. Well, we're ruining reflection 250.
That time we may have some other understanding of the reflections. We may add some more opinions to it, so it will make it more interesting. No worries. Like I said, we don't run for trains, right? This is going downhill.
Yeah, we don't run for trains. That's number one.
Know what it is.
Well, the art of running downhill.
Yes, I love that one. We don't run for trains, that's for sure.
We don't run for trains.
A beaver must dam, a writer must write, a painter must paint, right?
A beaver must dam. So what did you say? It's like
if you make $1 trillion, but you can't tell anyone how you feel. That's what I say to kind of describe what I'm thinking, but it's not a saying per se, So I don't know. We'll think of something.
Well, you need to start writing these down so you can do your own Beta Procustus style book of that writing's like right up your alley. Just go get your truthorism.
In fact, I do enjoy these sayings, because these sayings is a way for me to have my memory palace, right? Yeah. I'm living my life based on these sayings. This saying is essentially a memory trigger to get me to think about, don't try to go uphill, don't go against the river. Right. Find and orient yourself to go downhill. That means that, hey, I don't have to take the environment as is. I can't change the environment, but I can change what environment I can be in. Right. I can, like I said, people look at it and say, hey, I have a job and I move, right? Wherever I go, it's going to change me. It's going to be like 10, 20, 30 years of my life. Mm-hmm. But when I move somewhere, I didn't even think about it, right? That's an environment that we don't spend enough time to make decisions on what affects us. Similarly, we don't take the time to reflect on what it is that we value, what it is that we want, what it is our calling, what it is that we are born to do. Like I say, a beaver is born with a waterproof coat. It can swim real well. It can be in the water all day long, right?
Right.
Other people are not so lucky. And so they are utilizing advantages that they have. We never think about that, right? We have the ability to imagine in things. We have the ability to simulate stuff. We have the ability to the freedom to choose between the stimulus and response. We have the freedom, we have these superpowers.
That's one. Yeah, keep going.
But I'm saying it's one of those things that to me, it's I like to have these saying because it's shortened, but it explains a lot, right?
It packs it all into a little what like we talked about before, like mastery is being able to write it down. Saying something is to say the art of running downhill, like somebody go, yeah, okay, I get it, but
the art of running downhill, it makes sense, but how do you do it?
Right. Yeah.
And
or I don't run for trains,
and I just told you how. Right.
Yeah.
I just told you how. Look, you can't change like your environment, but you can change the environment you be in, right? Your workplace, right? You don't like that workplace, get another workplace.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So this is
where the art of running downhill comes into play. Say there is an art.
I gotta say something though, that like life can't always be running downhill and catching green lights. I mean, you never know when that atomic bomb is right around the corner. You never know when, stuff that you can't control that literally it just falls in your lap. And even though you think you're running downhill, all of a sudden you find yourself staring up at a mountain to go climb. Like use that same purpose.
But you the same. You can redo. I mean, you're not doing only like, hey, I was born and I oriented myself once. No, you do this all the time.
I agree. I wanted to make sure
outside your control.
I just wanted to make sure that we don't, people think that like, it's all, you can always be able to run downhill, right?
Well, exactly. But the thing is, you have the control. It means that the only thing you can control is you can't control the stimuli that comes into you. You can't control the atomic bomb that comes to you, but you control your response, right?
Right.
The freedom to choose your response. That means that when an atomic bomb comes to me, yes, if I continue to go the direction that I'm going right now, it is going to go up here because the environment changes, the terrain changes. I'm just being flipped upside down. I'm going up here again. So that's a time when you say, well, I have these concepts, the tools in my toolboxes. How do I utilize them so that I can make that easier?
I agree. That's when you lean on the why you're running anyway in the first place. Like that's when every single hill that you climb, when you hit that roadblock and you got to get back to go catching some green lights and running downhill, like that's kind of what I was trying to get across in this reflection is like, I know why I run up the hill now, right? Like when I first started running, it was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I like this sucks. Like, let's just go find a flat, like let's go run on a track, or go run on a treadmill or something, where it's like, if you just want to go run, like there's easier places to go run. But now I actually really value running outside because it's never easy. And also at the same time, you get these, you have to go earn that hill, you have to go, but I know why I go and run, now. Like that's that same purpose that you're talking about of catching green lights when you're going downhill and designing that environment to stay on that hill as long as you can, like, and going on that downhill as long as you can. That's great. But that same purpose applies when you're running up that hill as well, because you're like, look, this is why I'm enduring for my daughter, for my purpose. It's not easy, but you know why. You will make it through because you know why.
It's easier because to me, like I said, go back to what I'm saying before. Everything's about comparing value, right? Like I said, if I'm trying to sell you a bottle of water for $100,000, would you buy it?
If I'm in a desert and I haven't drank
exactly,
that's sure, and I have 100.
Exactly. When you're in a desert, the value of the bottle of water skyrocketed.
Right.
I mean that you really, really value that bottle of water. And so you're willing to pay $100,000 for the bottle of water, but you're in a rainforest or in places where water is plentiful. Your value is different. That's what I'm saying is it's all about the comparison of the value. When you have a value, whatever is up on the hill is more valuable than the effort you exert to go up the hill. To me, the value is so high of the goal that you have uphill that's 100x compared to the effort you put in, because you know what I'm saying. So to me, because of the value differences, it is allowing you to endure. It allows you to have the internal energy and power to drive that legs and calves and quad muscles of yours to go uphill. And to me, that allows you to get to the hill. And to me, you can endure. It's easier to endure. I can tell you that when I have diabetes, people say, well, you are this, you're that, To to me, it's not about whether you want to or not. It's like because your body gives out, right? It's not like, hey, I don't want to crash just because I eat some sugar. I'm crashing. I just can't move anymore, right? They say,
Right.
well, you just need to, pain through the whatever and suck it up and whatever. That's not how it works. But if you're able to endure it because you have a certain value, then your body is allowing the extra energy. And that's why I'm saying is there are certain things that overcome your physical abilities. If you don't have the value, then you just won't. Just like when you have somebody, I hear a lot of people like they do extra human feat, meaning like a person that is in an avalanche able to lift up very, very heavy rocks to get out of danger, or a mother lifting a car to get her child out. And even after they did that, all of their muscle is broken, but they were able to do it because the inner drive allows the body to push all the energy into, even though it's going to damage the muscles in the body, it gives you that particular boost, like a Knox boost in a racing car, right? So to me, it's going to give you the extra boost physically to get up here. Therefore, it makes it easy.
I can't disagree with that at all. I think both running uphill, there's an art to running uphill and there's an art to running downhill. And I think they both are the same thing that we're talking about, which is, run with purpose, right? Like if you run with purpose, then it isn't all green lights,
in the
but
metaphysical
maybe you can turn the red.
Going uphill is going downhill for you.
Could be. Maybe you turn that red light into a yellow light or something like that,
But you think about it now. Somebody asks, hey, we want you to write a reflection every single day or every single week after you read a book. And you do that for 365 times, right? Ask somebody to do that. What would they say? They say that's really a lot of work.
Well, I would think
that's
that most
running
people
uphill.
would say, are you going to pay me? How much are you going to pay me? Are you am I going to make
pay you
$1 million or something like that for doing this? Like that sounds like
I'm
a
not
crazy
paying you
project.
nothing.
Right.
I'm not paying you anything.
No,
right?
I mean, I know.
You're going to buy the books, you're going to read them, and you're going to write them, and you're going to write 365 of them. That's running uphill. But you are running uphill today.
Well, I don't feel like I'm running uphill. I mean,
exactly. That's my point.
Right.
Running uphill physically, but in the metaphysical world, it's running downhill for you because you align your value, because there is something there's a reason why you're doing this. You're doing this for $1 million. You're living for $2 million. To me, in the metaphysical world, you're running downhill. Even though,
for sure,
for the physical effort itself, it is running uphill.
I like your analogy, but just to be fair, the first 30, 45 days, I mean, oh my God, when I go back and read my writing from those first like 30 to 45 reflections, I'm like, oh, like this is awful. But to be on the same side of everything, when I go and read like the past like 100 or so, I'm like, man, these are really good. I wrote that. I was like, these are pretty damn good.
You go back and go back and watch the first episode. I mean, what are these guys saying?
Well, I mean, and they were like 10 minutes long, and now they're effortlessly, 40, 50, 60 minute long conversations.
We went over time, and then the wives are getting.
Right. Well, no. So
unhappy.
I mean, I like your point. Your point is very well taken, except for those first like 30 to 45. Those were running up a hill. I mean, they did not feel like the green lights at that point in time. It was fun. I was enjoying, for some weird reason, I was enjoying running up the hill because I knew what I was doing this for. But like, they were not easy. It was really hard. The first, like, I mean, that first monthly challenge.
Think of it in a metaphysical as, gaining momentum, because now you are picking up speed as you go down the hill. Okay. The first one, you got to take the step. Even though going downhill, you still have to take a step, but make sure you don't trip and fall. You still have to maintain balance. There's still work and effort to do. But now you're just using the momentum and the speed's picking up and you're going faster, but you have no need to do anything else other than just keep going downhill. Right.
Agreed. I was going to show the first book and the first reflection.
Sure.
Wait, actually, the formatting is so bad, and this is actually me correcting it. Like, before it was just one big block, like writing, I think. And I mean, I don't compare it to the most recent one where it's nicely written out, you know, longer, like
It's
very much
much
so.
longer. The point
Yeah.
where I can't fit all these texts inside of the YouTube description.
The points are more valid, the stories are better, the formatting's better, my writing's better. I don't know. I go and look through all these and I'm like, you know, this is like, it's
The
just
content has some insights to them.
right.
The
I mean,
discussion is not so boring.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's been a fun journey for sure. And and I am definitely catching green lights now on this journey. And it's a good reminder to enjoy running downhill because, like, I mean, this still
It's a
isn't
hell
easy.
lot of fun.
But
a
it's a
hell
lot
lot
of
of fun
fun, right?
going
Yeah.
downhill. That's for
I
sure.
mean, let's you know, call a spade. Like, you're still running when you're running downhill. It might feel better, but you're still running. So I mean, this isn't easy, like doing what I'm doing.
But
And
like I
doing what
said,
we're
you say
doing,
running
but it's fun.
downhill, right? Not running uphill or running flat, right?
Yeah, it's when the hard work becomes fun, you know, and then it's like, oh, I don't mind doing hard work if it's just enjoyable, right? You know,
The thing, you say either you're running downhill or you don't run at all, right? And
sure.
my opinion on that is you cannot do nothing, right? You have to do
Yeah,
something.
you got to run.
As a
Yeah, you got
human
to
being,
run.
you have to do something. You got to run. You got to participate in the life squash, whatever. You have to participate. You have to be a participant. You
I think
can't
that's
just
a
say,
truism. Are you capturing these? You know,
sure, I'll keep that in mind. Eventually it'll come. Because, you know, like I said, these are kind of things that I repeat over and over again. And sometimes I say it to you know, too many times, but you know, it's to make my point, which is
how
why
many? Oh God.
yeah, but that's how I live my life. It's, you know, I live my life based on these things, and those are my memory triggers.
I think you need a book of aphorisms. Yeah, I think you need a book of aphorisms. You know, just like the Beta Percustus
Yes,
or whatever.
I love that book. I read it like 5
yeah.
times.
Well, there you go. Do you know how many aphorisms are there in it?
I would say upward of 200.
Okay, so do one a day for the next couple
Well,
hundred
I
days,
think
and then you can share it at the end of this. We'll make your own little section of the blog.
it's truthfully is not something you do in a day. This is one you learn in a lifetime.
Oh, I know. I'm saying try to.
I mean, try to write them down.
Write
That
it
one
down.
area
Yeah.
have done.
Right.
Like to a healthy man, you know, he wants 1,000 things. To a sick man, he only wants one thing.
Like write them down, man. I know you've always been hesitant to try to do your own guest writing on this stuff or whatever. Like, I think that's like a perfect complementary piece to this whole entire thing. I mean, you're just writing down a phrase, but you know what that phrase means, and it came from a loving, deep place, and it's meaningful. So do that.
Because I was thinking, like, a lot of times when I'm posting these on YouTube, I wish all these are these, because the thing is, each of these reflection title is a lesson that we want to learn.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of these times, like I was saying, you know, these reflections should be written in a way that is a aphorism. Like this one, that is an aphorism, right?
Yeah, they're all kind of aphorisms. Like, I mean, really, it's you can pick any of these. Like, I'm in a cul-de-sac. You know, I know what that means.
Right,
but,
right.
So
those reflection
what I learned on my own, I still remember.
Actually, aphorism.
Yeah, first do no harm. The devil's outside doing.
We're talking about the platinum rule, right?
Yeah. The platinum rule. Emotions aren't our enemies. This is one of my favorite ones I wrote recently. For Ford's sake, you know, emotions are our enemies. In this book, A Brave New World, Henry Ford is like their god because he invented the assembly line. So instead of saying, you know, anytime you would ever say the word like Lord or God or whatever, you say Ford instead. It's for Ford's sake. Yeah, exactly. So it's for Ford's sake. You know, enemies aren't our. I'll remember that for a long time. I think we're officially starting a new side project called Truisms. The question we could leave for everybody for today is: when were the times in your life when everything just felt aligned and effortless, like you were catching green lights and running down a hill? Try to figure out what that magic was and that purpose that was leading you down that. Figure out how to do it every day. If you can do that, then I think you'll have a pretty happy life, or fulfilling life at least.
Interested? You come join us in a company recruiting members.
I agree. All day, every day, and we'll pay you. So, you know, just so you know, you'll get $80,000 a year for us to go help you to catch green lights. You know, that sounds insane and stupid and weird, but it's true. So can't wait for you all to join us. We will see you all next time, and thanks for joining in, and talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye.